Whispers from the void.
It's only me.
Hey! What's up, my little vox&hops heads? It's me, Phil 2Vitesses for the Intimates. And as you can see and hear, yes, I'm doing this review in English because I'm lazy. Yeah. So anyway, it's not the important. Like I said earlier, we are doing a full review of the new album of Ihsahn called Ihsahn. This album is going to be released on February 16, 2024 via Candlelight Records. Mini bio just to present the artist. Ihsahn, or by his real name,
Vegard Sverre Tveitan,
is an artist from Norway, precisely from
Notodden.
and he's pretty simply doing progressive metal and black metal. Why you ask black metal? Because if you don't know him, he's the principal founder of Emperor, which is, in my opinion, one of the best black metal band I ever heard. Personally, that is my taste. I know some people in the comments will say, yeah, but you forgot to talk about this band, and this band, and this band, and this band. Yeah, so what? I like what I like, you like what you like, and that's it. Anyway, we're not just talking about Emperor, we are talking about Ihsahn, because yes, Ihsahn is a solo artist too. Since 2006, he's been releasing albums over albums over albums. And if you heard the last two albums of Emperor, well, it's a good segue to go to the album of Ihsahn, because Emperor was black metal first with touch of symphonic and touch of other genre and like dark ambient and even dungeon synth at some point, but they tried to do something like more progressive on the last two albums, which is, like I said earlier, a good segue to the solo album of Ihsahn, which is continuing what Emperor did at the end. It's like it became his trademark since. I won't talk about all the albums of Ihsahn because this is not the point of this video, but if you have to check out an album, I recommend you to check Eremita, which is one of my favorite albums of Ihsahn. And also, you can check Arctis, which is the first album that I've listened of Ihsahn's solo project. But anyway, this is not the point. The point is we have to talk about his self-titled. To put the album in context, this is the album number 8 of Ihsahn. This album, which is very different from the others because this is a double album, but also it's not like a double album like different songs on like each CD. What he tried to do is to do a double album, one that is prog black metal and the other one which is an orchestral take of the songs of the first CD, which I'll be honest, at first I was a little bit surprised and I thought it was a little bit safe play, if we can say so, but it's a little bit more interesting than I thought. There's something that I noted that is very interesting about this album is that he wrote the album as a piano short score and arranged it for a typical band ensemble and orchestra, accordingly making sure everything interlocked. He's also saying that this album is an attempt to write a soundtrack for a movie or whatever, like could be a short film or a movie, and it's like his attempt of doing it, but like instead of doing it like with a movie, he was like, let's do it with a typical structure of a song. But for example, if on the first song, like on the song on the first CD, it sounds like this, well, I can put some more like the arrangement, I can modify it to make it feel on another way, like to make feel something else, which I think is very interesting when you hear the album. Now, here we go on the principal subject, which is the positive point of the album. First of all, I thought that the album was very cinematic. Like I said, that is the point of the album, is like he somehow made a soundtrack for a movie. The sound of the album is so huge. Like I said again, it's like a cinematic, but with the guitars and the drums and the bass, it sounds even huger. But like on the orchestral version, I thought that some were like even more huge because of the arrangement that was made. But still, like, the album is just like pure sounding, like it's a pure wave of sound. It's amazing how it sounds, and like people that love music, that love the audio part of it, will love this album. That album is also very prog metal AF. Like, what do you expect of Ihsahn? It's like you cannot expect like a country album or like a full jazz album, but it's very interesting how he blended prog black metal with the orchestral parts, because yes, the orchestral parts are part of the first CD, and there's also like the orchestral parts are like the main essence of the second CD, but they are still in the first, which, like he said, it makes a great variation of it, because like even if the orchestral is on the two CDs, it can mean something different and it can sound very different, which I think it's the case with some songs on the album. For the constructive criticism, well, I have not a lot to say, to be honest, because this album is proggy, yes, but I thought like maybe one thing, maybe the fact of redoing the same song just orchestral, even though it just took the orchestral parts of the first and made it like a big orchestral song. It's interesting, but I think he could have made like something different, if I could say so. Maybe it wasn't like his point, and maybe it wasn't like his goal, but I think he could have made something different, and maybe like taking like one song that talks about something, and maybe like on the second song, like on the orchestral version, make something that is like the opposite or like a follow-up of this song. That could have been interesting. Maybe if Ihsahn listened to this review, maybe he could do that on the next album. But with that said, that album is awesome. That album is amazing. For me, it's like a 10 out of 10. It's wow. It's so good. So yeah, that's all for this review. The review of Ihsahn self-titled album that will be out on February 16th through Candlelight Records. With that said, I'm Phil, 2Vitesses for the Intimates, and see you on the next one. Cheers!
Okay.